Hey there, Agile Adventurer. Just a quick question. What if, for the price of a fancy coffee or half a pizza, you could unlock over 700 hours of the best Agile content on the planet? That's audio, video, e-courses, books, presentations, all that you can think of. But you can also join live calls with world-class practitioners and hang out in a flame war-free and AI slop-clean Slack with the sharpest minds in the game. Oh, and yes, you get direct access to me, Vasco, your Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. No, this is not a drill. It's the Scrum Master Toolbox membership. And it's your unfair advantage in the Agile world. So if you want to know more, go check out scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. That's scrummastertoolbox.org/membership. And check out all the goodies we have for you. Do it now. But if you're not doing it now, let's listen to the podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF Friday and Product Owner episode, this week with Terry Haayema. Hey, Terry, welcome back.
Hey, Vasco. Thank you again for having me. Happy Friday, everyone.
Indeed. Happy Friday, everyone. It's already Friday, and we're going to have a nice and relaxing conversation about what is potentially one of the most critical roles in the whole Scrum framework, the product owner role. We'll talk about great and successful product owners in a minute, but first, Terry, share with us potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
So I've witnessed many. I've been doing this for a while. It's not my first rodeo. But the worst, I think, I do need to preface this with the person involved was doing the best they could with what they had. They had never really been brought into the role effectively. And they were a mid-level leader in a business area who suddenly found that they were the product owner and really wasn't equipped. So again, we always want to assume that the person's doing the best they can with what they have. But having been a manager focused on processes and KPIs and working in an area of the business where people had to do a certain number of widgety things every hour, that was kind of his approach to management. And that doesn't quite work from a product owner point of view. The biggest anti-pattern or the most negative behavior that came out of that, beyond dictating to the team what they should do, beyond expecting them to deliver a certain number of widgets, it was that he actually made the retro unsafe. So he would come to the retro and call people out for things that had not been done or had not been done to his level of satisfaction. And you can imagine the team retreated. They're technical people. They don't like being spoken to like that, or no people like being spoken to like that. But even the people who hadn't been called out retreated. And I tried a few kind of gentle coaching kind of interventions. I'd start the retro by bringing up the retrospective prime directive, and we all assume, all of that. But it didn't really get through because he wasn't very self-aware. Hadn't really been a leader, more a manager. And there'd be points where I'd sort of butt in and interrupt and say, look, we really don't want to call out individuals, and this is about the performance as a team and what are we going to do differently as a team. But none of that worked. So I booked the retro for a different room at a different time and didn't invite him. So we actually had to move to a retrospective without this product owner. Having tried many times to coach, but there wasn't that coaching invitation and there wasn't that self-awareness that there was a need for coaching. And I don't recommend necessarily doing that every time, but in this instance, it actually worked. because the product owner came to me and said, "What happened to the retro?" And I said, "I had to move it because it was unsafe." And I had to use the SBI feedback approach. So stick to the situation and the behavior. Don't sort of get, personal. And then once you've described the situation and the behavior, then talk about the impact of the behavior. And then there was you could see there was a moment for him where he had that realization. That didn't happen because of seeing the prime directive. It didn't happen because of numerous, gentle prods, or even asking sort of some powerful questions. None of that had sort of got through. It was actually being excluded from the invitation. That in this case helped him to see his behaviour differently. And then we actually brought him back in, and it was better.
That story has a great ending.
Yeah, but as I say,
I was expecting that person would get so mad that eventually you would have had to leave, because that has happened in some of our stories here on the podcast, that people say, "Hey, at some point I just had to leave. There was no way around it." But that actually has a great ending.
No, it did, and the thing was, it was the trigger that I needed to help him to see the situation differently. So being in the retro and saying, hang on, we can't call people out, hadn't helped him to see it differently. That was just me being the interfering scrum master. But actually uninviting him was a different moment. And
that's not words. Show me, don't tell me.
That was the thing that let him know, oh, actually, that this is impactful.
Yeah. I would never advise that. But it's beautiful.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't advise it.
It's beautiful to hear how it can work, right? Because I would have had one-on-ones. I would have, kind of tried to convey, here's what happened, here's what I observed, here's what happened on the other side. Have you noticed how people react when you say things like that? So I would try to create awareness. But you made a great point, which is sometimes people are at the level of self-awareness that talking about creating awareness is not going to create awareness. You have to create kind of a shock moment, right? Still safe, not, it's not threatening or whatever, but it's still a shock moment when you finally realize that, hey, they're not even inviting me anymore. And that gets us, as people, it gets us back to that moment in school where we were not invited to play a special game we all wanted to play. Right. And that brings back the awareness that, wait a minute, this is serious. Right. Now I feel this is serious. I'm not trying to rationalize why this is serious. I feel it's serious. Right. So, yeah, it can work. That's a beautiful story, Terry.
But there was no invitation and no coaching invitation. So I would try to have one-on-ones. It's not going to happen. I would try to have those coaching moments. Did you observe how the team responded when you called that person out? No invitation at all.
But we know there are some great product owners out there. So we want to focus on one of those right now. So Terry, share with us the best product owner you've ever worked with. How did they work?
So completely different story, different product owner as well. So I often describe the product owner as the voice of the team for the customer and the voice of the customer for the team. So the team don't need to scrabble around to talk to 50 people to know something. They just talk to the product owner. And the people who receive what the team does don't need to distract the team to know when will my thing be done. They can just talk to the product owner. So that's all good. That's all well and wonderful. But the product owner I'm going to talk to you about as being the great PO saw it much more as being the connector between the team and the customer. So not just the voice of the customer, but the connector. And they put together a bunch of initiatives that actually help the team to get inside the head of the customer and understand the customer by interacting with real people, not just having a really great user story format. So you'll know the whole idea as I want, so that. It's to help us empathize with the customer, right? And we have these personas and stuff like that. But what this product owner did was they would hold these events and they'd actually invite a whole bunch of customers along and the team and some of the business people who supported the team and supported the customer. And they would fund like pizza and beer, and it wasn't a huge cost, but then get people talking to each other and socializing. And the connections that were made and the understanding of what actually is going on for the customer, the single best feature we ever built came from one of those conversations. It wasn't the product owner having the best product vision ever. It wasn't, design thinking. I mean, you could call it a design thinking type of activity, but it wasn't one of those kind of things. It wasn't a formal design thinking activity. It was literally, let's get together and share some pizza and beer with our customers and talk to them. And when you're talking to them, it's like, how are you going? What do you do? I do this. I'm on this team. What do you do? Oh, I'm a customer. I use the system this way. And we literally came up with a feature that saved customers a whole lot of time by just presenting them all their last 6 orders. And I can just click things because it was a business to business type system. So I can just click things from past orders. Now, we would never have thought to do that, but it was just through conversations and then getting a bit creative with customers. And when we did a small proof of concept, people loved it. Orders went up, but not only did orders go up, the size of orders went up as well. And the team's engagement with the customer, their ability to empathize with the customer, well, we actually just met those people a couple of weeks ago and we shared pizza and beer with them. So my great product owner example was one who saw themselves not just as the voice of the customer, but as the connector to the customer, the one who brings the customer into the team and helps us to build some social bonding, get an understanding of who these people really are, and help the customer understand who we are as well. And the conversations that emerged were incredibly valuable. I haven't seen better examples than that from product.
What a great story to finish our week off, Terry. That was beautiful, inspiring. Terry, we're getting close to the end. If people want to connect with you, understand you better, maybe have pizza and beer, just in case you're in Sydney, Australia. Otherwise, you can always do it remotely, of course. Where could they go?
Always happy to connect on LinkedIn, and always happy to, it doesn't have to be pizza, but always happy to, share a coffee or pizza and beer or something. I do help to organize Agile Tour, which happens every November. So I'd encourage
Agile Tour Sydney.
Agile Tour Sydney, yes, sorry.
Because there's Agile Tours all over the place.
It's global, yeah, that's right. I would invite you to read my book as well. So my book is quite different. It's about individual agility, not about teams or organizations. There's enough books that do that. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I don't use Twitter very much. But if you look me up online, I've got a website there. I've got a whole lot of templates you can have for free. I've got a whole lot of playbooks you can have for free. That's just my part of giving something back to this community that's helped me to build a career.
Absolutely. We'll put the link to all of those in the show notes. For now, Terry, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you so much, Vasco. And thank you to all the Scrum Masters out there. You do such an incredibly important thing. Don't underestimate yourself.
All right, I hope you liked this episode. But before you hit next episode, here's the deal. This podcast is powered by people like you, the members who wanted more than just inspiration. They wanted real tools and real connection to people who are practicing Agile every day. We're talking access to over 700 hours of Agile Gold, CTO level strategy talks, summit keynotes, live workshops, e-courses, deep dive interviews, books, and if you're into No Estimates, we got the pioneers of No Estimates in those deep dive interviews as well. agile business intelligence, creating product visions, coaching your product owner courses, you name it. You'll get invites to monthly live Q&As with agile pioneers and practitioners, plus a private Slack community, which is free of all of that AI slop you see everywhere, and of course, without the flame wars. It's a community of practitioners that want to learn and thrive together. It's the best place to connect with community and learn together. So if this podcast has helped you before, imagine what you will get from this podcast membership. So head on over to scrummastertoolbox.org/membership and join the community that's shaping the future of Agile. And we have so much for you. So check out all the details at scrummastertoolbox.org/membership, because listening is great, it's important, but doing it together, that's next level. I'll see you in the community Slack. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.